fight the IO and the Tiny. It could even, I think could even go mid, honestly.
I think you need to send the Bristle mid. This was the solution we saw earlier today against the IO Tiny, at least as far as the laning stage goes.
The only hero that maybe is even better against the Tiny IO at the early levels mid is Tidehunter, but you really don't die unless something terrible happens in that lane.
I'm wondering if you even consider just safe lane farming the Lina, because they like putting priority in farming up the Lina, at least throughout today and yesterday they have. So maybe it's just going to be a safe lane farming Lina instead of the mid Lina with the IO Tiny pickup.
Ban number 5, Vici Gaming. Really depends on, I guess they expect at least probably the Undying to be maybe even a core here.
You even consider banning Brood? No, they're going to ban a support. So
it leaves Witch Doctor and Wyvern if it is indeed a support here, which we expect. Probably Undying.
The only way you can make the Earthshaker, and I think you can make the Earthshaker Undying work as a support duo if it's like an Earthshaker Lina in the safe lane. Earthshaker can kind of roam a bit. Lina can solo the Tusk. And then Undying like with a +1 in the offlane, or Undying roaming, maybe helping mid. But not having a solid range support against the IO Tiny would just, really create some vulnerabilities in your draft.
The Ancient Apparition ban from CDEC. They're not that heavy on the heals right now. There isn't really a great setup for an Ice Blast, but
I guess the IO heals alone can sometimes
but it's CDEC banning it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think maybe just respecting the global nature, the mobile draft that Vici has.
Yeah.
And it can be annoying for Bristle, who normally builds a lot of HP regen.
10 seconds remaining.
Soul Rope's actually one of those surprisingly potent heals as well once you get to like a level 4 in the mid game.
They'll probably have a mech as well on one of these heroes. Not a terrible ban.
Reserve
So Vici
time.
Gaming looking just for that secondary support to go with the IO. I imagine Tusk has been run as support by a few teams, but
I'm thinking it's either Witch Doctor or Dazzle here for CDEC. That would be my guess.
Yeah, Dazzle's made it very deep. Normally we're seeing a lot more priority put upon it, but when you're going for the IO Tiny in that second pick stage, you can't really fit the Dazzle in because it's just not a first pick hero these days.
So what's the Fenrir hero? What are they lacking right now? Do they need a little more damage, control?
I think the Dazzle you mentioned's strong. They've got
10
enough
seconds
lockdown between the
remaining.
Tiny and the Tusk for the most part, and Queen of Pain can itemize for some additional
5
lockdown if they
seconds
need it,
remaining.
going for hexes, orchids, whatever it may be.
Ooh. Now there's a hero we don't see much. Good against Bristle early, very bursty. The silence can ruin Undying. I would say Skywrath used to be picked as at least an attempted counter to Undying back before he got buffed pretty substantially with the changes to the zombies.
Yeah, looking for just, I guess, a really potent laning hero. And last pick, Slaughter. So
well, you talked about their fire. And this speaks to it. They're going to go for some early Roche play, potentially, and it's the aggressive Slaughter. Oh, God. How far is this guy going to chase this game?
yeah, give him a chasing hero and things will go well.
I'm just going to keep my camera on the Radiant well, and I'm sure he'll be there within like 10 minutes or so.
Does make CDEC have it play a support laning game, the first of the day, although something they have done in the past. So.
It's 4 melee heroes against a Tusk, Quap, and Tiny. That is... I don't know, gods. That's a lot of heroes clumping up here against some big AoE.
Yeah, it's a little worrisome.
See if they can make these lanes work, though. For melee heroes, these are pretty strong melee heroes in the laning stage. The Shaker, Bristle, Undying, Slaughter are not the best, but you're going to give him some support early on. So it does end up being Port Lina. That's probably the biggest curveball here that CDEC are going to throw Vici, who I think we're expecting the carry Lina after the last few games.
Yeah, their last ban was on a support hero, so definitely we're expecting a support to be picked up and Lina played as a core, but they say we'll mix it up here going into game 2. And for CDEC, there is no pressure on them at all. I want to say guaranteed a top 4 for the most part here. I mean, they're getting a tie out of this series, and with the nature of just there being 3 top dogs in Group B, top 4 secured. And with that in mind, for me, CDEC can play without pressure. For Vici Gaming, they're the ones who need the wins a lot more.
Moving in at level 1 is going to be XZ on the Undying. He's gets scout out right away. Uh-oh, this is going to be a lot of pain for XZ.
Yeah.
He'll get some heavy right click here. Not going to die to this duo, but they will make him regret the day that he dared to enter their jungle. That's over half his health already gone.
Oh, they're pinging it. They think he warded already. Will they sentry?
30
no,
seconds
They're chopping
to
down
battle.
trees. That's what they were pinging for.
Okay. Ensuring that if he does ward, it'll be a very simple D-ward. So let's run through the drafts here, or the lineups rather. Vici Gaming trailing 0-1. They need this win. CDEC sitting pretty atop the group. Exi on the Undying. Garter, the Lina. Shiki, your bristleback player. Q will be handling that support Earthshaker, and Aggressive on the Slaughter. As for Vici, contesting the bottom rune, you've got Hao on the Quap, Fenrir the Io, and they're marching down in the river. Do Vici dare to challenge this quadruple hero pile? I don't think so. They'll back off. It's a double bounty spawn going the way of CDEC, Super, the Tiny, FY going to be playing the Scarth Mage, and then in the off lane goes Ice Ice Ice. And it is interesting with this team, Gods, because I remember when Black was on the team, I saw every single core play the Tiny. I saw Ice 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 play it, Black played it, and at one point, Super was even the player to handle it. But it's not going to be Hao, the one position. It will be Super, normally the two, who takes it over this time.
Yeah, now we're going to switch up and go towards mid. And the adjustment here is that they're not sending Io Tiny mid, probably just saying, we can't really put pressure onto a Bristleback or do enough in this lane. Let's just send the Io Tiny safe lane where they can battle out the pesky Undying.
Already, Ancient's being warded here by FY, it looks like, but he's going to get fissure blocked in. And, well, Q's fissure blocked out, so didn't get a whole lot done with that one.
Do they dare rotate in someone like the Undying? It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case.
Too far away. Well, it was a good idea, but if you can cage him in and start auto-attacking, it can hurt. The Ancients will be warded. Seemed like Q maybe wanted to stack those. Doesn't have any sentries. Garter with one top, but not going to be planting it down here early.
I guess it makes Q's decision of what to do a lot easier. It's like, well, I can't stick around bottom lane to stack Ancients and back up mid. May as well back up mid/top and rotate more towards his own jungle to go stack up top. So
what are you making of the lanes here? Quap first Bristle. In the mid lane, you've got the tri-lane bottom to try and deal with Xyz Undying, and then the tri-lane top to handle Ice 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 on the Tusk.
Much more traditional laning in the sense that both teams running just a solo offlaner against a tri-lane, so both teams going to be wanting to make use of their pull camps, try and just get as much farm and levels on their supports. It looks like Undying's going to get a bit more out of the lane compared to the Tusk. He's already getting aggressive here in this Radiant jungle and just trading hits with the Skywrath, leeching experience from the pull, so...
He didn't go for the Tombstone. Change up here with the Soul Rip.
I guess he realizes because he's against a tri-lane, he doesn't really have much of a chance to fight. Theoretically, he could be dropping it onto the Skywrath, but he wants to make sure he can stay alive to some extent.
There you go. It's the 1-1-1 build. He is starting to hurt FY, though. That's 2 decay stacks up. Doesn't quite have the mana, I think, to go for this. Actually, 3 stick charges. He could commit. He's going to drop the Tombstone back towards his tower, but instantly 3 move in. Start farming zombies. They try to kill off that tomb. That's a lot of gold to give up early. But the tomb baited out. That's all of Xyz's mana. And it's really going to put him on the back foot here for the next minute or two.
Yeah, this offlane gets tricky for him, where he's been able to just come into the jungle and bully the supports as they go for the pulls. That's going to kind of cease at this point. Not only has he run out of mana, but his supports are starting to get levels. Skywrath hits level 2, Io is halfway to level 3, so it just gets a bit more dangerous to make those plays once you have Arcane Bolt as well as the concussive shot at your disposal on the Vici Gaming side.
Good news for CDEC, this tri-lane is not stacking right now. They may start soon, but 3 minutes in, Vici normally, when they run the dual lane mid, they'll get the double stack more often than not, but yet to see a single camp with multiple groups of creeps in there, so there won't be turbo farming early for the Tiny or the Queen of Pain.
The Undying's done a great job, by the way, of contesting this Tiny farm. Just 9 CS to the 19 of Slaughter.
That's the cool thing about that Tombstone drop, is it made him miss probably the better part of a wave.
And even just earlier, he was throwing out a lot of decays on Tiny, really causing him problems with harass.
They're going for XC now, though. Big dive, the toss. He does manage to pump the stick. Then, oh, no Tombstone, just the 3-hero decay. Is it going to be enough to save him? No, Salvi gets out. One more auto tech. They still can't kill him. FY's committed for this. He doesn't have mana. As XC gets the kill. He brings down the IO. He's tangoing through the trees. Decay, and he clobbers him for a double. Oh no, Vici Gaming self-destructing in the tri-lane. Oh god.
OS Frog.
That should
Please.
not happen.
Nerf Stout Shield OS Frog.
Oh god. I mean, if you write up like the worst possible way to start the game, it's tri-laning an Undying, committing everything on him, and then giving him a double kill, and he walks away scot-free.
That is just... That's so big for Undying. That's so much experience as well, and now potentially losing Ice. Aggressive is charging.
There is a snowball, but there's nothing to snowball to. It's a long way to go. They're not going to risk it.
All right.
Meanwhile, mid, Shiki being dove. He does have stick charges and a regen rune here. If they don't kill him, he's going right back to full. XC's there to bail him out. Does force him to TP onto the mid lane, though. And Shiki just waiting for the Shadow Strike to wear off.
So will survive and pop that regen rune, and Al's had the better part of this mid lane, but still 17 CS to 23 is about what you'd kind of expect and hope for the Bristleback. And Bristle's got stacks to fall back on, so realistically he's kind of on par with the Queen of Pain once he gets these stack farm, which he's going to go and work on now, giving the mid lane the Undying so he can get some more XP and farm for himself.
Another fairly unkillable hero here, but they are going to abandon the off lane, and that will be a breath of fresh air for Super, who can now focus a bit more on getting his early levels. That fly moves on mid. I don't think I've ever seen Vici Gaming have this much trouble in the laning stage, gods, and it's not just this series. You go back to the EG series, they got completely just countered by, I guess you could say even by the draft from PPD, but this is a team more than probably anyone in China who's just known for winning lanes, and they're just not doing it the past few games.
I mean, FY and Fenrir kind of talked about as the support duo. As far as synergy goes and understanding one another, this is the best of the best. But that was a big misplay from that exact support duo in the bottom lane. That dive really costing Vici Gaming here in the early game.
It's always, oh, Shiki. Oh, he doesn't have a point in Q. If he has a single point there, that's the death of FY. You want the top rune? Q? No TP, sir. How waste no time in dispensing with him, and now he's going to hunt for a bit more. Only a level 2 Scream. He could walk onto Garter. Maybe he's hoping for some big stacks here. Could try to steal this. With the illusions to help tank him up, he should be able to get a bit of extra income going his way.
Just the 2 points in Scream, but he'll probably take most of this. I don't know if he'll take all the pesky orange ogres. They're pretty tanky, but yeah, it looks like he's just going to leave some of this behind.
Yeah, leave them less than a normal camp. That's the vindictive way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, please. Those orange ogres are just not worth killing. They're so tanky. They don't give you any gold, don't give you any XP. It's just like, just run away from them.
The only thing worse is probably leaving like a single satyr just to block the camp.
He scouts the big camp, but sees it's not stacked, but it's already been farmed up. So that illusion, not really getting too much as far as useful information for that camp. But Ancient's now stacked on the dire side as well. CDEC could just...
I feel like they've been like improving their economy game as the tournament goes along. We didn't really see much of this, but they just seem to be getting better and better at balancing resources around the map, and it's scary. If this team's getting better and they're already giving the best a run for their money and even beating them in a lot of cases, then imagine how good they could be by the main event.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When we talked about this team, it's like, oh, they play super aggressive. I mean, they carry player, the namesake of that playstyle, always keeping around. That's not all they do. They play just good, solid Dota when they're stacking and being very efficient here in the lane stage.
Super chucking out an avalanche. He's getting into the danger zone with these decays. There is a Earthshaker waiting. Oh, if that fissure block gets him near the tower and they drop the tomb, I'm not sure Super lives to tell the tale. And in good news for Vici, Super gets his treads. Fenrir is leveling nicely despite the early death. Already cracked 5. If I know my C deck, this is around the time where Aggressive goes for his TP gank, but it looks like he wants to finish that blink first.
Yeah.
And then he'll be on the move.
More item dependent rather than level dependent, unlike the gyrocopter.
There's your tomb. Yeah. On to Super they go. They don't have the defensive relocator. They're going to TP in. They're running 2 down to the bottom lane. Way too slow. Hasted and angry Bristleback. Shiki's going to pick up where Aggressive left off, and now it's ring around the Rosie. Fenrir tethering to a creep, trying to survive. He is taking some damage here from the orbs, but he keeps on diving in, and he looks like he may end up getting this kill. Stick! Another. Snowball comes through. Tombstone may be able to cover them on the way out. Shiki is trapped, but who's trapped? Tomb. He's facing forward. There's the heal. Quill's adding up. How? Trying to get the kill. He will barely at that, but Q's arrived. Oh, does he have the fissure? Just short on mana. And they're just out of range of the tomb. Now it's gone. They might even clean up here. XC on the run. He's got stick charges. Won't make it out. It is a 2 for 2 with the tiny IO being exchanged for the Bristle Undying. A gold swain for Vici. They come out on top, but this is before the Blink Dagger of Aggressive comes into play. so they can't really feel too relaxed about
Yeah,
it.
it's action forcing the entire Vici Gaming team to rotate, so Aggressive will free farm his way towards that Blink Dagger, and that's where you see him pick up a TP, maybe even a smoke, or at least one of the support gets a smoke and goes off with him, so expect to see him get very active now with that Blink Dagger.
And it may be where they give a support delayed. Maybe allow Q to catch up a little bit. Speaking of which, he's going on to Hound now. He does have the blink, though. They can force him off this lane. He's going to have to TP home. No Quap ult for some time. And he will be going Orchid build. We don't see the Orchid rush much nowadays. He's farming rather quickly, so it'll be a timely Orchid at this rate. It's almost always the Ags early, it seems, and once in a while, something like a BKB.
Yeah, it used to be like the S4 build who would do it every single game, but that was when the era of like Centaurs and Axes was really popular, where when they blinked on you, if you had fast fingers, you could pop that Orchid, and against the Slaughter, mate, that's going to be what Hal's looking to do. If Slaughter's going in with the blink crush, if you've got the fast fingers, you Orchid him before he crushes, and then suddenly he's completely out of position.
There's the TP. He's ready to move.
Yep.
Fissure, Tombstone, look for the blink crush, and they've got him. Amps deployed, and Super, unless he gets an amazing save, is going to drop again. He will. CDEC. Begin the swarm tactics. The Zerg have arrived, and they're out for vengeance. Time to start pushing some towers, they say.
Yeah. Very LGDS kind of group up and push here now, as there's got 5 at bottom, no one defending it. Vici Gaming's options are limited to just pushing and pressuring and farming these other lanes. They're not going to be able to defend this bottom tier 1 tower, and that's a freebie. And you start losing the tier 1 bottom and the tier 1 mid, then you're looking at easy access into the Roshan pit. That's where CDEC love to rotate their carry off the lane early on from this dire side, because it allows them to take these fast Roshas when you get tower control.
He's not... Oh, Aggressive could have gone on him. He actually had the vision, but he plays it safe. He doesn't know what's behind FY, and could have backfired. The relocate's actually online now. That's probably what gave him pause, and it's going on top. Actually has the Tombstone in 1 second. He's got 9 stick charges. Oh, I don't know about this, guys. He didn't bring the Tiny, and now they're going to drop the Tomb. They can relocate out. Not sure they get any kills. Fenrir may just get away with this. It looks like he will. That was close, though. Oh, Hal's looking to go in. Hal wants to go in. He's got the Blink Scream, double damage rune at the ready, but XC walks back, and Hal doesn't have a haste or anything like that. Can he solo Q? Maybe, but if he gets chain stun under the tower, there's a TP. Hal's thinking the exact same thing. I got this unless, and he's going for Blink Scream. Fissure's there. Now he can look to go back in with the double damage if XC sticks around. But XC is backing off, and it's Aggressive and Garter moving in. 3 about to rotate. They know the relocate's on cooldown. This is the time to strike, and it's a 2-hero crush. It's Aggressive in once more, just charging into Vici and beating them to pieces. This guy, he just keeps on finding openings.
And CDEC just making smart moves all across the map. They give the Earthshaker the lane a little bit, but as soon as it gets a bit hairy, he backs off, makes sure he just doesn't give any kind of comeback kills the way of Vici Gaming, and just very crisp with their rotations, finding the kills, getting out, never really putting themselves in harm's way. And we saw this last game, like when they were getting to a point where they could push high ground, they never really overcommit or even put themselves in slight risk going for those high ground pushes. They make sure they're willing to wait out an Aegis or two before they go for it. So similar kind of execution with their just ganks and their overall game plan, where it's very low risk play, but it's still very aggressive play.
Here's the smoke. Finally, Vici trying to do something aggressive in their own right. FY's not 6, though. How is waiting. They're going to commit 3 onto XC, and I don't know if he gets out of this one. He did drop the Tombstone. Those reactions, impressive. Aggressive, quick to counter-initiate the 2-hero crush again. Mystic Flare's there, and he is currently sprinting. It's going to hurt a lot, but Wisp relocates in. They bring extra reinforcements. Doesn't matter. It's a Bristle. He's going in on this. Ice down. 2-hero Fissure. Can they relocate out? Another crush. If they bring down Fenrir, they're going to get Super as well, and they got him. He's on the run. Actually, a brilliant toss. The Super will spare himself, but he can't spare his buddies. I can't believe he got that tomb off. That was a seriously quick reaction.
And that gets so much work out of it too. That was the turnaround, as it just slowed everybody down, created time for the Slaughter to TP in, hit those 2-hero crushes and cause all sorts of problems. CDEC just continued to swarm all over Vici Gaming, and this is just a high-quality team performance coming out of CDEC right now.
And team is really the word. I'm just not seeing any weak links from these guys. It's not it's not one player throwing the team on its back. I mean, Aggressive may be the one that stands out because of his very unique approach to the carry role, but they're giving him the space. The drafts have been solid. The moves early have been great. They've adjusted well to bad situations. They've gotten ahead and stayed ahead. I mean, this team has been playing a variety of Dota situations and finding the right moves in pretty much every one. And that, as a result, they're up 4,000 gold, 3,000 experience on Vici Gaming. A team that is not guaranteed upper bracket, to the shock of many, I'm sure, who are currently tuning in.
And it feels like a matter of time before CDEC can take Roshan. There, as I said, they ping it. They're probably thinking, let's just go for Roshan, because even if we do it under vision without smoke, we win a team fight there. You drop the tombstone on the high ground cliff. You've got a Bristleback with a Vanguard Treads. You've got Slaughter who's kind of peeking.
They're doing it now. You can have the tower top. We'll take their Aegis.
There's Radiant Vision, which I think spotted a hero or two walking towards this. There's Radiant Vision at the Ancients, which spotted them walking from the secret shop. Vici Gaming fully know this is going on, but...
And there's now a sigil. So they even saw it, but well, it just doesn't matter.
Not at all. And Vici Gaming's thinking, hey, great, we can take a T1 tower. This is new for us. We weren't expecting to get a T1 tower anytime soon.
But nothing given freely here by CDEC. They get a big trade with that Aegis. They'll put it in the hands of Aggressive. He's a level 11 already. And remember, amp damage, this spell has been quietly buffed so much over the past year and a half. At level 2, it's minus 15 armor. Let me point out to you that FY has 0 base armor. Super has 2. Fenrir has 1. The best armor on this team is 5 on Ice. Gods, they are going to be walking around with negative 10 to negative 15 armor every fight, with really no way to remove it.
Yeah, and no way to beef it up. There's no dazzle, there's no like medallions or anything. I imagine that's mate. I feel like Ice needs to go for something like a medallion. Maybe he's looking for a blink dagger first, but it'll be very tricky to stay alive against the physical damage output of Slaughter, and that's also amplifying up the Bristleback damage, the Quill damage, as well as the right clicks coming out.
And, well, speaking of which, we're about to see it in action. Ice. Try to TP out while Aggressive, make the plague. Oh, God, that would just be... Oh, he almost got it. That would be one for the highlight reels if he just made a prediction blink stun. And I think that might put Vici fully on tilt. But fortunately, not the case. Aggressive will be thwarted for once. Oh. This time he gets the amp off, though, so no more hiding from him. Remember, they do have a relocate to come into play here, and that's something CDEC do have to be cautious about. This Vici draft very good at quickly turning fights around if you overextend, so they'll slow roll it, they'll work on the tower mid, and both teams gonna glyph. As the split push commences, they are spotted moving back towards top. Sprinting up there is the Slardar of Aggressive. They continue to work on mid, but as soon as he leaves this top lane, they're going to send the whole gang in mid, it looks like. Ice rotating. They've got the relocate. It's going to be 5 here in a matter of seconds. They silence XC. Where's the tombstone? He needs to get this thing off if they're going to have a hope of winning the fight. He's going to Glimmer Cape. He's too tanky. The Fissure caught both on the relocate. They get off the tomb at the final moment, and now everyone's on the run. And how the hell did he get here? Aggressive's already back into it, and on to Super he goes. No way out. They can't even escape with the sigil. Amped and done for. CDEC somehow again and again just hanging on, getting that tomb off, and salvaging the fights. Now remember, Aggressive does have Aegis. He may be popping here in short order. Cheeky charging in though. He wants to get one more crush off before this Aegis pops. Still alive for now. Hal's gonna kill it, but is it worth it if he goes down to Quills? He might. They try to smoke. Not gonna happen. More CDEC say, we want more. On to Ice, and amp damage deployed. There's the Fissure. The crush again. CDEC just racking up kill after frickin' kill, routing Vici Gaming. I have never seen a team come out of nowhere and dominate this hard at TI, and I mean never, guys.
This is, yeah, unheard of. Completely unparalleled. There's been kind of Cinderella stories where if teams have come to TI, completely overperformed. Like Liquid comes to mind from last year, but they were still an underdog, and they weren't dominating their group stage. They were like, this is the story where of a team who has a chance to kind of break their way in the top 8, and they just missed out. CDEC right now is looking like one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the tournament. They are, without a doubt, scary. If you're EG, Seeker, you're watching this team play and you're thinking, holy crap, this is a real contender.
What's the game plan for Vici here? You're down 14 to 6. You're getting out farmed. You don't have an Aegis. Well, you're getting ganked mid right now. That's the danger. Blink, stun onto Hal. Can they chain stun it down? They do have a Laguna, and they use it. The snowball dodges it. What a play by Ice to hang on to a much-needed Queen of Pain, but he has to be the one that pays the price.
Yeah, it's still costly. And for Vici Gaming asking about the plan here, it's very much going to be reliant and around the IO Tiny. We saw what I think it was IG again in their game against LGD. They're just going to this split push style of play.
Oh, we got him! Oh no, they need to relocate. Fenrir, bail him out. Yeah. He'll save him, but it's another kill. It's the IO down.
It's going to become all about the split push for Vici Game. When you get this far behind, that's all you can really resort to.
They're giving up a lot for this, and Fenrir will be the next man to pay the ultimate price as CDEC extend their lead, now leading 16-6. Continuing to look for objectives. They now move into the top lane. Laguna's about to cool down. The Tombstone's at the ready. The Glimmer Cape online again and ready to go. Curious to see what this Undying build is going to be. He's picked up a Belt of Giant Strength. Are we thinking maybe a Necrobook here, Gods?
A
halberd?
I wasn't thinking Necrobook until I saw the Belt of Giant Strength, but doesn't seem like... And I feel like Necrobook is at a pretty weak place right now. Maybe it's a halberd to deal with the Tiny. But
could be a good pickup. And, I mean, at the rate Super's farming, BKB is a distant dream. Right now, he just wants the Ags. He's got a ways to go before pick that up. Aggressive again, looking for a move on mid. They do have FY in reserve. Blake crushes there. Oh, he's got an illusion. This time, he's off the mark. Vici, thank their lucky stars. He could have had the quap if he blinked right. But he won't end up connecting for the kill, so they dodge a bullet.
And Vici gonna just abandon ship him, maybe finding a lone bristleback up top. No. But it's still a bristleback, that's the problem here. 1800 HP, Vanguard, 13 one charges. Even if you got 4 heroes on him, it would take a long time to kill him, and that aggressive slider would probably just suddenly show up out of nowhere, so you don't want to risk going... At this point, Vici Gaming can't be aggressive in going for kills. They can only go on someone if they're by their tower and they force TPs elsewhere, or they see multiple heroes elsewhere on the map. They can't go diving for kills. That's just a recipe for CDEC to just counterplay them and just wipe them apart.
I really do like this pickup on the Slardar, because I feel like this is the hero's biggest weakness, is his farming ability. He gets the Midas, and with that, he can go into the late game, and to me, Slardar is one of the few heroes that can actually man up on a Tiny late. As long as you're relatively equal in farm, you have the amp damage. With a BKB, you don't have to worry about getting stunned, and you have the bash potential to lock him down, so CDEC may even just not be afraid of Vici Gaming heading towards the late game. We'll see. For now, you can see it's all about the economy. Multiple sentries planted all around the Ancients, trying to keep the stacks up, flowing gold into the coffers of Super as much as possible.
And it's the CDEC support's also getting farmed. That's really the different story between the two teams. Like, you've got the cores who are doing pretty well in the Queen of Pain Tiny. They're still falling. I mean, when you're this far behind, they're going to be getting out-farmed by Gristle and Slaughter. But for CDEC, there's Glimmer Capes on both supports soon. Garda just 100 gold away. The Undying already has a belt going into a Necrobook or a Halberd or something. Urshik has just picked up a Blink Dagger. These supports are getting their items, whereas Vici Gaming side, you're not looking at much.
Another gank train. They just scouted Hal moving towards the camp, and Aggressive predicts the movement. He gets the bash. Amp damage is there. They need a little more damage. Couldn't get in range for the Laguna. He will walk away. Might have wanted to wait just a second more to let Garter swing closer, but he's excited with the way this game's going, and who can blame him?
With how it's going, he's like, I'm just going to get perma-bash him, you know? Channel my inner spirit.
Once he gets his Assault Caress, if that's the pickup here, he might well be able to do it, but he's not quite there yet. And the Blink back. I love this item on Bristle against Wisp. I think it's really strong. We saw it the other day, and it really paid off.
Wisp is just such a squishy hero. All it takes is finding the Wisp and getting on top, and that's something which Bristleback can often struggle to do.
The gank train towards top, but Ice will scout it out with the Sigil. Trying desperately to keep CDEC back and buy his team time, but look who's wrapped around and secured the high ground here. It's XZ and Garter. XZ up in front with the Glimmer Cape, rather tanky. Vici, the way they're moving towards this top lane is the mannerism of a team that doesn't want to come anywhere near their opponent. Not even thinking about pushing up the hill. Nobody coming for the backstab.
They're not even split pushing, really. Like, when IG were in this position, they had they had burning on that Tiny just every single time. Split pushing another lane, applying pressure to towers. At the moment, the tier 1 mid and the tier 1 bottom are still standing. Tiny only now heading towards bottom lane, but I feel like he could have been there a good 30 seconds ago.
They have one tier 1, and that's the one that was traded for Roche. Haven't taken the tier 1 bottom. And it really seems like the Slardar's the big issue, because he's so mobile. He can keep up with the Tiny Wisp. He can actually outrun them with the Blink Dagger, and he's just not allowing them to take objectives. Now grabbing an Illusion Rune.
Speaking of those objectives, next Roshan coming up in about 1 minute time, so CDEC will be looking to get their hands on that. They haven't really pushed down too many towers yet, but with an Aegis in hand...
Oh, there's the dog. They found Hal top. And again, another strike into the heart of Vici. This time it comes from Q on his Earthshaker. Level 11. You wouldn't know that this guy was playing hard support at this point. He's getting the farm of a core. Or at least a 3 position, potentially.
And this is where games get very difficult.
Now the fight bottom. This could be difficult for Aggressive. There's the snowball and they trap him. They already used the Walrus Punch. Can he make his way out? There's the Fissure. Q's gonna bail him out. Do they have to relocate? No, now they do. They've got the mana for it. Can they predict it right? No, they've decided they want to go the other direction. Back towards the base. Ice, Ice, Ice on the retreat. Cheeky has a Blink available in 4. Aggressive has one soon. Oh, he stunned first before the Blink. A miscue here from CDEC, but... That team synergy, man. If he's on his own, he's dead, but he's got the backup. Immediately Q, quick to respond and bail out a buddy.
So, well, the point I was trying to say earlier is, at this stage of the game, when you see someone like a Slardar Bristleback or a Slardar Lina on the map at bottom, you're Queen of Pain pushing top, you're thinking, oh, it's fine, I can't go down, but when the hard support can solo kill you, or at least kill you with, like, any other hero, like including, like, the Undying, or a secondary support, or an offlaner, that's when it gets really difficult for Queen of Pain or any of these core heroes on the Vici Gaming side to play this game, because they want to be split pushing, they want to be spreading their resources and making the most out of the map, but CDEC have so many ways to punish it with this Blink pickup on Earthshaker.
Even the Blink Bristle, it's not enough to kill on its own, but it's enough to make them run quickly. And it feels like they've got 3 heroes now that can just run around the map, jump on people, and drive them back.
Yeah, I will make it 4. Garda picked up a Blink, didn't actually go for the Glimmer Cape.
All right, and level 2 ultimate. Let's see, what's the HP looking like on our supports here? Wisp 739. Before reduction, it's like 80%, 90% of the Wisp's HP. Skywrath of FY also looking rather frail. He's trying to cobble together a mech. CDEC on the move. They've just picked up a Slardar BKB, and FY is going to be the first victim. Blink, crush, there's your amp, and dead. One last bash, get the job done.
Not much to it. They'll maybe just thinking, let's find an easy pick off and then open up Roshan for the taking, but could get a tier 2 tower along the way if they want to just stick around mid lane, and it looks like that's maybe what they have planned
Q
here.
going for another solo kill. He's prepped an enchant totem. He's snaking in towards bottom. If I ice, ice, ice. Quick on the blink out. But Aggressive wants to chase this anyway. If he gets the amp out on ice, 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 could be in danger. He's going to snowball into the creeps. I don't know if he makes it out. There's the relocate. He turns with the BKB. He's going to try to solo Fender. There's a nice sigil placement. They whip on the totem. Vici handling this fight very well. Even the shards trapping Aggressive, but he just blinks past them. He didn't take the damage because he's magic immune. While Super's held in position, tanks the Laguna. Doesn't have a Wisp to bail him out. There's the TP, the crush. He just got in range. Aggressive playing his hero to the absolute limit. And Vici are given no corner as Shiki tries to cut off Ice Ice Ice. He may blink in. He's going for it. There's the blink, the goo, the dive, and again another kill. Rack him up and talk him down. CDEC, no mercy.
This kind of play, just with the incredible, just controlled aggression time and time again, blinks across the board, punishing a team like Vici Gaming for any small misposition on the hero. They don't quite get the Earthshaker blink initiation they were hoping for, but they just chase them down. They know their timing so well. Aggressive picks up the BKB. He knows he can be a little more risky with his play, and he sees the relocate coming in, just mans up on the Wisp, and Vici Gaming just getting completely demolished at this point.
Roshan has fallen to the depths.
Half this team's games, I feel like I'm just watching a pub stomp. I feel like you know, sometimes when you watch a lot of pros queue up and they've got their stack, and you know the average MMR disparity is maybe 500 to 1,000, and they just start running at pubs and owning them.
And no one wants to sit in their lane farming creeps, because that's boring. It's more fun to farm those pubs.
CDEC is farming heroes. That's what they're all about. And they're making Vici just look silly, which How many teams in the world can say they've ever done that once, let alone 2 games in a row where they're just taking the fight and, oh, FY, where you going, my friend? And 3 shots, down for the count again. A mega kill for Aggressive. I don't know what you do. You can't really leave the base. The split push is being completely shut down. They're not allowed to take Roche. Everybody's got a Blink Dagger at this point.
And CDEC are just kind of catching on to what Vici Gaming are doing, like hiding in the trees, trying to kind of creep skip or at least split push these lanes. That's where Slider just went through the trees looking for more heroes even outside of the Skyreth with Queen of Pain, who was actually nearby. But
they want a tower, but Q's prepped with the Echo, and Vici, no, it's so risky.
Yeah, they've actually got a nice little ward here, spotting less importantly the Ancients, but more importantly the bottom lane, which will give them the information when they know it's safe to push on.
They want to go on Shiki, and it almost feels like this is being baited out right now. They've got 2 heroes right next to him. Vici. They're not going to do it. They were thinking about a snowball into a relocate, but he's just too tanky. Another BKB. They don't have much on BKB's gods. They have the Sigil, which is pretty decent, and the Walrus Punch, and right clicks from Tiny, but I mean, he's not right clicking in these fights.
He's not
running.
scary yet.
He's running.
BKB is countering this Tiny for sure. I mean, you're stopping the combo, and also very importantly, stopping the craggy exterior right now.
That's a really good
point. Which both carries really need the BKBs to deal with.
They break the base now. Tier 2 bottom first. They've been, you know, as much as they're diving and as fun as it is to watch, it's, I think even more impressive has been the discipline where they don't overdo it. They'll get those kills. We've talked about it in previous games. I think they'll back after this, go defend their towers. They're going to try to get all the tier 2s most likely before they go for high ground tier.
Roche get TP'd early as well. He's going to catch up.
He got super. Yes, he did. Relocates available. Fenrir looking for the bailout. The Echo interrupts it. Oh, what a play by Q again. Vici thwarted in every corner. No mercy. Laguna crushed on. Another enchant. Fenrir brought down as well. This team is out of their minds.
It's just such smart play. Earthshaker TP's back alone while the other 4 heroes remain showing hitting the tower. So the Earthshaker TPing in Fog just completely catching Vici Gaming by surprise. They'll get a consolation prize, actually a gem on top of that. So a pretty costly overstay from the Undying. Probably just getting a bit excited with how things are going so well, but CDEC still in the driver's seat.
It's a pretty costly give here with the map control they have. They could deward 2 over towards mid, maybe 1 near the Roche pit, but they're the team taking towers on the back of these kills. Muscling down mid, pressing in, looking to make this game even more claustrophobic for Vici, who probably feel like they're just locked in a closet with a monster trying to rip the door open at this point. They're feeling rather cornered, but the gem might be what they need, gods. Maybe with this they can get a shred of map control back and try to salvage this game.
Oh, and by the way, Slider has enough money for an assault caress. Just
straight
32
up.
minutes in, yeah.
Oh god,
He's got the pieces on the career and just needs to get it to the secret shop.
He just got his BKB. They're hunting him. They're smoking. I think that he's got Aegis.
Is this aspiring? No, it's not.
They're not getting him now. Not with the AC freshly picked up, and they're going to see it too.
I'd love to just see him like run at them and just take a fight.
He can run at them and at least kill the Wisp, I think. Maybe they could disengage with the Snowball and the Walrus Punch. Maybe.
Well,
they're not gonna test that possibility. They're gonna go push bottom.
Back door, yeah. Whip available will be instantly used, and Slider without a TP because of the Aegis taking up a slot, so I think they can go back in and finish off the tier 1 here, but CDEC have their eyes on a tier 2 and the last outer tower on the Vici Gaming side of the map.
They are just systematically pulling Vici apart. They will have to give up a tier 1. That's only the 4th tower down with a tiny Wisp at 33 minutes. A testament to how active everybody on CDEC has been around the map. Do they go high ground, gods? Do they have what it takes now?
They just expired, or about to expire, and Slider not actually there. It looks like this is kind of a indecisive play from CDEC. They've only got 3 heroes actually up top. They're going for the pick-off bottom there. Again, really smart. They pretend they're pushing, and then they TP back a key hero, Earthshaker.
Again, the Fissure catching super out. They're almost in range for the crush already. Garter has the blink, but doesn't have a Yule Scepter, but they're also going in top. They've relocated out to try to find the opening. Cheeky gonna glimmer back. XC, the sacrificial lamb. But that's all they lose for the relocate. Still a win here for Vici. They're chasing for more.
Yeah. Vici Gaming, I think, finally catching on a little bit to what CDEC are doing, where they're doing this fake push.
Well, they lost the IO on the relocate back, but they get cheeky out of there.
So CDEC, I mean, it's worked a few times, and I'd say it kind of half worked there, where they have 3 to 4 heroes pushing, showing on the map, and then they TP out the Earthshaker. He goes solo, 4-staff blinks in, tries to catch the Tiny, and then as he's catching the Tiny, another hero TPs in. And what the Vici Gaming answer to this has got to be jumping the heroes who are getting abandoned. Without an Earthshaker in the top lane, without someone like the Lina or the Slider who's also TP back, one of those two heroes will TP back, you've got to take that fight at top lane. Ideally, you get the Wisp and Tiny relocating in and turn it into like a 5v3 scenario. That's kind of the game plan for Vici Gaming here, if CDEC keep going for these cheeky little plays.
They've got a nice tool to find picks. Now out picking up Sight the Vice, and it must be said, gods, despite the number of deaths that pretty much everybody has racked up, How holding steady at 3-3 tops the CS charts, and he's not that far off of CDEC when it comes to net worth here. With the Scythe, can set up the relocates, and they might look for a go here on the middle lane, but already wary. Garter's going to blink back and retreat out.
Yeah, I don't feel like CDEC want to go to ultra late game here. You'll have 2 melee carries up against a Tiny.
The Sigil really works late game as well.
Sigil's going to be a problem. Queen of Pain can just kind of sit back. Shadow, like, you get down to 5-second BKBs, you've got to deal with Shadow Strike, you've got to deal with Craggy Exterior. There's great answers to both Slider and Bristleback. So they're going to be thinking about high ground with this next Aegis, because I think, unlike maybe the past game one in this series, there is a timer on CDEC's lineup. I don't think they can really keep taking and dragging this towards late game. Undying, another hero who's going to fall off. He's picked up a Vlad's for the very reason I think he recognizes they need to end this game early. And they adjust with the Lina going for turning Lina into more of a core hero, because this is probably the one hero that does scale very well with items towards the late game.
Breastleaf rotates around. There's a lane war top, and it gets eyes on FY. It saw 2 heroes moving here. This is a super long-range smoke. The creeps won't spot them, but sprint is worn off. It's about to cool down. Hal has plenty of time to get out of this one. FY even could escape if he TPs soon. And the mid lane, they're showing Shiki. This is going to cause Vici to think that there's a 5-man push brewing mid, but oh, this is such great mind games, guys. Yeah. It's just a Shiki alone. It's setting up for the 2-hero gank top. Looking for Hal. He might get nervous now, though, as Shiki's disappeared. Blinks into the trees. He doesn't want to TP out just yet. FY also running out. They drop the tombstone, looking for vision. They still don't have anybody in their sights. But now, oh, did they see him? Just missed the vision on him. They still haven't found anyone. Ichi dodging bullets, and now they're going to go into the bottom lane, relocate, but aggressive. Oh, he misses the Wisp with the stun. He didn't BKB. Can he find the bad? He BKBs now. Oh, they get him, and that means Super's in a lot of trouble. Echo committed. They lost XZ on his own, but if they can get Super, it'll be a worthy trade. It's a 2-for-1 around the map. Not quite as clean as what CDEC wanted, but they do take down the Tiny.
CDEC is just kind of toying with Vici Gaming constantly.
Gonna get how to? Maybe. Oh, the silence. FY with the big bailout.
It's just constantly like showing one hero. You have a Bristleback solo pushing the mid lane by the tier 3 tower, but like you said, mind games. Vici Gaming don't see the rest of the heroes. They kind of make an assumption that they're seeing behind the Bristleback, and CDEC just showing some serious swagger when they're making plays like that. Because that Bristleback is alone as can be. It's a very easy pick-off if Vici Gaming know that, but CDEC are just taking advantage of their just general map control and the fact that Vici Gaming don't have much vision floating around.
Now, it is worth noting that Vici were the ones who made progress towards objectives there. They did some damage to the tower top, and is starting to get to the point where a Tiny can bring it down in one creep wave push. Is down to a 3rd HP, a bit less, actually. Need to start thinking about lanes soon, it would seem. Roche has respawned. They're bringing in the whole team. Aggressive will quickly amp to remove the spell shield here, the Lincolns from Roche, and gonna look to take this Aegis. Hal's the only man out on the map. The rest of Vici just sitting back towards the base. So they'll get this next Aegis, gods, in about 400 gold, a bit less after the Roche. Garter will have his Ags at almost the level 3 ultimate. Is this the Aegis? Is this where they go?
I feel like it needs to be. I don't think, talked about it a bit earlier, they don't want it to keep on dragging towards the ultra late game. They've got to deal with the split push, so maybe look towards some boots of travel.
Well, there used to be a Skynet there.
XZ, though, at bottom lane, taking a lot of damage. That Soul Rip saves his life, and he completely jukes Hal with the Glimmer Cape.
He played there. He's still low, though. He's got to go home. That may delay a potential push, and it gives room for Super and Fenrir to move in towards top. They're going to clear out the wave with an Avatos. This is where things could get dicey for CDEC. If they've got less than 5 on the push and Vici just relocate back in on mid, they may be able to catch them off guard. They could also try for some TP cancels and force a top. This is the team with the tiny IO. Vici the ones with the options here, and they snowball in onto aggressive. Fisher's there. They were waiting for Ice Ice Ice. The gem could be given back the other way. Are they going to go in and grab it? There's your relocate. Force staff to dodge the initial avalanche. Hal blinking out just in the nick of time. He baits out the crush. No echo allowed. He's been silenced. Really nice synergy here from Vici, but now in comes Shiki. He's bought BOTs for this, and they're going for the high ground. The Sigil slowing things down. They buy back the Tusk. This may turn into a base race very quickly. Shiki and aggressive up in front. The Bash Bros working on the tower. Mystic Flare, a complete whiff. They don't have creep stop, but they are coming soon. And let's see if they want to go for it. Tombstone at the ready. Glimmer Cape online. Age is still prepared. All BKBs are go. They can push this. Fissure, Tombstone, and in. Aggressive. I don't know how these crushers keep on connecting, but it might make the difference. The Echo on Hal catches Ice 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 as well. They've got a Laguna Blade in 14. Not soon enough. The Sigil will slow this down, and they are going on the top lane where Aggressive has gone in, soloing Fenrir, or at least trying to sprint Sworn off. What an unfortunate time. Tether's back, but he gets caught by the crush on the way out and left for dead. Will end up falling. The Tiny makes it home. It halts the push for now, but only for now as CDEC race forward again, looking for the lane of Rax. They still haven't taken the tower. Hal, he bought back to try to hold this one out, but he gets blown up. It's a dieback on Hal. CDEC are finding the openings. I don't know how, but they keep on doing it. And Slardar's mad. He slithers in mid. They're diving tier 4th. They're filleting into super, and they almost get him. Yes, they do with the Fissure. Aggressive, a celebratory sprint right around the enemy throne, lapping and celebrating as CDEC take 4 wins in a row and are now atop Group A with 12 points in 5 games. They are truly the Cinderella story of TI5. This team has some serious guts.
A 2-0 victory over Vici Gaming. This has not been the dominant Vici Gaming that they were kind of known for during that kind of DAC era, but this is still a very capable, accomplished team, and CDEC out of the wildcard and quickly into top position of Group B.